Okay, hey everybody, what's going on? It's me, John D. Villarreal, the four-time national champion, the super genius, and the political expert, joined by Paula Villarreal by phone. And we are talking about this whole situation with Donald Trump and Senate leader, Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Now, Paul, Mitch McConnell, I guess he was back home in Kentucky, made some very interesting comments. Okay, I think now. First of all of our personal opinion only, not alleging any facts, not casting any aspersions, all for entertainment purpose only. Please check the disclaimers. Paul, I think there was some interesting comments made by Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Something about that Donald Trump, quote unquote, had excessive expectations when it came to this whole situation with the legislative agenda, maybe also healthcare and stuff like that. It just seems very bizarre with these comments. I wanted to get your immediate reaction to it, and we definitely have Trump's Twitter reaction to that. It's very interesting. If people want to talk to us, you can hit us in the chat over here. We'd like to hear what you think about that. Paul, what do you make of these comments by Senate Leader Mitch McConnell? It seems really, really, I can't believe it. I'm shocked with these comments.
I feel basically the same way that President Trump feels, particularly about the healthcare situation, which is you guys have ran on this for years. You should have had something completely in place, pretty much agreed upon already. The fact that you didn't have something in place means that you weren't serious about it. You weren't focused about it. Sure, some people weren't expecting Trump to win. That's great. You still should have had something ready to go. You didn't. And it's a failure of the Senate, basically. I understand that Mitch McConnell has to kind of cover for his own inability to get it done, but there's no excuses. The Republicans control the White House, they control the House, they control the Senate, and they pretty much control the Supreme Court. If you can't get it done now, the voters are going to look very poorly on that, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I can't believe what was said. I think that I was like shocked by the whole situation. How you go out there at I mean, here's the thing. What were you thinking? Do you think that nobody was going to see that nobody was going to notice that? You were just going to be able to say it at some offhand thing, whatever, and you're trying to explain? I mean, I understand. Senator Leader McConnell probably feels, not so great about the whole situation there. You don't hold a vote if you don't think you're going to win, okay? You don't do that. So, I mean, it failed by one vote. And we all remember what happened there with Murkowski and Collins and then McCain. McCain with that waiting there, with the whole thing and the thumbs down and it's like, the drama and stuff like that. So I'm sure Senate Leader McConnell doesn't feel great about that. At the same time, to blame that on, to try to flip the script and put it on Trump, and I think he said something like, okay, well, our president, he's new to this business and politics. Listen, well, first of all, let's talk about what Trump said, because I love what he said in this tweet, and then we're gonna spin that forward. This is from Donald Trump, at the real Donald Trump. Senator Mitch McConnell said I had, quote unquote, excessive expectations, but I don't think so. After 7 years of hearing repeal and replace, why not done? That's what I'm talking. That's what a lot of people are saying, Paul. I mean, how many votes have we had? How much fundraising have we had? How much type of stuff for? I mean, it's so crazy to me to have McConnell say this. I mean, it's like you're digging a hole, dude. Why are you still? Now you're digging at like hyper speed. You've got the backhoe out. What do you think about that, Paul?
Look, there's four people to blame here. Number one is Mitch McConnell, and the three others are the people you just mentioned: Murkowski, Collins, and McCain. It's all on them. They're the ones that got this defeated. It has nothing to do with President Trump, because this wasn't about him. I mean, we know that Murkowski and McCain, I am virtually certain, campaigned on repeal and replace. It's not about Donald Trump. You guys were out there talking about this before you knew he was going to become president. You had the chance to do it, and you didn't do it. And it has been said that Trump essentially allowed the Senate to write the bill. In other words, this isn't about Donald Trump wrote a bad bill. You guys had this. It was all in your court, and you simply didn't do it. So it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Nothing to do with him, except if people think, well, McCain did pass it despite Trump or something, or an old grudge. This isn't about the president. It's about the three Republicans who voted against it.
Absolutely, no question about it. I want to make sure that we're okay here. It looks like, hopefully, can people tell us here, are we okay on the stream? I'm not totally sure we're 100% okay on the stream. We're streaming in 4K, so I know that may be demanding a lot of a situation here. I don't know if we're okay on. Are we okay on your end, Paul? How's it look over on your end?
I have to see.
Okay.
I'm not set up for that right now.
Okay, let us know out there if you can. Let us know in the chat if it's okay in your end. I'm getting some kind of like. I'm seeing the audio looks good. The audio levels look good. Not so sure about the stream. Want to make sure we're okay on that. So that's very important.
Okay, I'll look in a second.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's the thing. Exactly what you said. So critical. Okay, let's take Mitch McConnell. Okay, Donald Trump doesn't have the experience. Great. The Senate was writing the bill. I mean, you can't have it every single way. Now, I understand it's politics, and this is how politicians do things sometimes, but you can't have it every single way. You can't, on the one hand, say, well, because we heard these criticisms. The president wasn't involved, and the president wasn't involved, and therefore the bill didn't pass, so they blamed him for not being involved. But then, as you said, Paul, that people were saying, well, that the Senate was allowed to write their own bill. Okay, so if the Senate was allowed to write their own bill, then how do you blame the president for not being? So if the president was involved and the Senate wrote their own bill, then how can you blame the president for having excessive expectations? In other words, he left it to the expert of the Senate there, Mitch McConnell, and his team to do the whole thing. And it wasn't like it was a one-time thing. The skinny bill failed, the repeal in place failed, the other stuff failed. I mean, it was fail after fail after fail. You had Vice President Pence up there drive in for the vote. You do not have Vice President Pence drive in for a vote at like midnight or whatever if you don't think you have the votes. So that's not on the president, that's on the Senate. Okay, Paul Ryan, whatever criticisms people may have Paul Ryan, at least he got the bill through the House. And the thing is this wasn't even a complete bill. This was a vote, I believe, I may be wrong, but I believe this was a vote just to have a discussion going forward. And they couldn't even get that done. So how are you going to blame Trump on that, Paul?
Yeah, let me just say, look, I'm seeing probably what you're seeing on the stream, which is a kind of a frozen picture. So I don't know exactly what's going on with the video right now.
Okay, let me try. Hang tight there, viewers. Let me try to do this. I'm going to try to dump out of my streaming software, come back. This is the first time we're trying a 4K stream, so it is high intensity here. We got to make sure it may, we may have to tweak with it a little bit. So hang on here real quick. We'll be right back. Okay, let's go with this.
Yeah, just like it was working, it froze.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was just some high intensity stuff here. Let's see if we can get this thing working here. Okay, it's checking. Okay, we should be rebooting. Hopefully, just hang tight with us, people here. We should be back here soon. Okay, I'm working. Okay, my streaming software is working on this side. Paul, let me know if it's working on that side. Hopefully, okay, now it looks like it's sort of okay. It's kind of doing this thing over here. I want to tweak very quickly here with the settings here. So where do we go from here, Paul? As I'm working on this side, where do you think is the next move? I mean, that was strong comments from Donald Trump. I know Sean Hannity and others had some comments to it. We've seen some of the blogs out there that have had some comments. What's your take? I mean, do you feel like there's going to be blowback with Mitch McConnell? Do you think that he's going to, I don't know, apologize to Donald Trump? I mean, I think that a lot of this is coming to a loggerheads. In my opinion, there's been reporting out there that there's not a lot of love lost between Trump and some Senate, some people on the Hill. Well, I don't want to say it that way. I'm not saying it's coming. Let me recharacterize that. Let me correct this. We're live. The reporting that I've seen, in my opinion, is that there are some Republicans, some establishment Republicans in the Senate that don't like Trump. Okay, I'm not saying it's coming from Trump. I'm saying it's coming from the Senate side. Now, if that's the case, then what impact does that have on this agenda? I mean, I think we saw some, some fallout with this healthcare bill, in my opinion. I mean, and so where do we go from? I don't think this is tenable long term. Okay, that's my point. I don't think this is tenable long term. I think Trump's trying to work with people. Trump's even throwing out olive branches, in my opinion, to the Democrats to try to get something done on some of these issues. I think he wants to see some progress. Trump's someone that likes to win. I think, he's a winner and all that. But I don't think that, particularly with an election coming up in 2018 and a lot of seats up there, and, Trump's getting involved and stuff. And I saw a report about, some things going on with Senator Jeff Flake. Bottom line is, Paul, I don't know how you, as a Republican, could go out there and face the voters, let alone fundraise and all this type of stuff, if you can't get this repeal in place done, if you can't get tax reform done, if you can't get some of the very basic legislative priorities that Republicans have had for how many years now and have ran on for how many years. You can't just talk about, excessive expectations. Where are the bills? Where's the action? How many times? I mean, I think there was I think I saw something that it was like 60 plus times or some crazy numbers. I might be wrong, but I think it was some crazy numbers of how many times they voted for repeal in place. And now 6 months in, we can't get anything done, Paul. I think it's one thing. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know if they thought that Maxine Waters was going to be able to get Trump out. I don't know. I don't know if they're waiting on more. I don't know what. If the reporting's true that there are some in the Senate that don't like Trump and don't want to see him succeed. I don't know how long they think this can go on and how long they think this is tenable, but the American people, I believe, are going to, at least the Republican voters, are going to want some results here, Paul. And I don't think that this stall tactic or whatever's going on, and I'm not alleging anything, but this inaction is going to be tolerated by the voters, in my opinion, and the donors of the Republican Party. What do you think about that, Paul?
Yeah, let me just say first, the stream looks like it's working on my end, so that's good. I agree with you. I don't know, just as you don't know, I don't know exactly what the thinking was. I know that the Democrats put a lot of effort into kind of trying to sway public opinion in terms of when it came down to the healthcare votes, how people were feeling about the Obamacare bill that kind of moved public opinion somewhat. Still, if you're a Republican and you ran on this for years, you should be pretty resolved to do it. I think that whatever the Senate feels, whatever individual senators feel about President Trump personally, they should, for various reasons, they should be able to put that aside in order to accomplish goals that they have laid out for themselves. In fact, Murkowski, I know, I'm almost certain, ran on repeal and replace, and then she put out a statement after the failure of the skinny repeal and said something like, well, I'm committed to, I can't remember. But she didn't say she was committed to repealing. She was committed to, finding a way forward with healthcare. Now, again, there was some movement in the polls, as I mentioned, but it's like, how can you run on this for so long and then just abandon it? So as you said, is that about Trump? Is that about how they feel about Trump? Are they hoping to stall him out? I don't know what it is, but I agree with you that the voters are not going to go for it. And there's likely to be repercussions for the Republican Party and for individual politicians in the Republican Party if things don't move forward.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. It's like this. If you didn't like the bill and you didn't like what President Trump, again, I keep saying President Trump put out there, but I'm trying to be as balanced as I can. I'm trying to give them, as much face saving as I can. But there was at least, I think, 3 different shots at this. There was the repeal replace. There was, I think, there was the straight repeal. There was a skinny repeal. I mean, I may be misremembering, or I may not have all the facts here or anything like that. We can look it up. But I mean, all I know was there was multiple shots at this. Okay, so it wasn't one shot. And where was Murkowski? Where was McCain? Where was Collins on those shots? Number one. Number two, where are their options? Where are their bills? All I saw from Senator Collins was something to the effect of, this bipartisan effort to make sure that we have funding or something for to prop. I don't know. I think I maybe remember, but something about propping up. In other words, there was this. All of a sudden, there was a scramble for some bipartisan effort when Trump threatened to eliminate the subsidies, including the subsidies possibly for Congress and their staff. Although we saw movement then, we saw discussion then. Where's McCain's alternative? Where's Collins' alternative? Where's Murkowski's alternative? Like I said, 7 years of this. What is McConnell's next move? I don't want to hear about excessive expectations. I mean, when you see, here's the thing. When you are a healthcare consumer, when you're a voter, when you're out there, doing the stuff, and you're paying for this, and you're seeing your premiums go up and up and up and up, I don't think it's excessive expectations to expect the people, meaning Congress. Again, I know it's different Congresses, in terms of, different time. And I know there was President Obama was a Democrat. I get it. But at the same time, Washington, D.C. put this on you with these mandates and stuff like that. I don't think there's excessive expectations to think that that the people who claim that they were going to repeal and replace it, the people that claimed that they had another plan with all those votes, are going to come up with a plan, are going to be able to vote on it, are going to be able to push some kind of discussion forward. I mean, it's insane. I just that statement right there, you might as well. Here's the thing. I'm not trying to be. We try to be very intelligent around here and not bombastic. We don't do extreme stuff, publicity stunts, in my personal opinion, anything like that. We try to what anyone else does, but we try to keep things really entertaining and fun, but reasonable and legit, if you will. But so I'm not trying to start anything. That's my point. But it's like, to me, when I hear that, that's like raising a white flag. That's like saying, you know what, we really can't get it done over here. I'm not saying it's easy. Nobody said it's easy. I understand it's 1/6 of the economy. It's healthcare. It's this big thing. And no one's ever taken away an entitlement. All this stuff. Blah 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 blah. That's fine. You know what? You need to work on it. Don't take your vacations. Get the if it's so hard, get back in session, Mitch McConnell. You can get back in session. Why do we have these pro forma sessions and stuff like that? Why are you running away, dude? I mean, figuratively speaking, obviously. I mean, I'm not saying that nobody has a right to a vacation, but there's a lot of time off with Congress and stuff like that, in my opinion. Come up with a plan. Be straight with people and say, if you didn't think it could be done, why'd you hold a vote? That's what I want to know. If you didn't think it could be done, Senator, that's the bottom line. Cut through all the noise and everything like that. I go right back to that. If you did not think it could be done, Senator McConnell, why'd you hold a vote? What do you think about that, Paul?
Look, I think that McConnell felt there was a good chance it could get done. I think there are people who believe that McCain was going to vote yes. And it was, as you said, they opened up the healthcare discussion. They opened that up in terms of parliamentary stuff, and then they had a variety of votes. And the skinny repeal was like one of the last votes. So they wanted to have it so votes could be had. But as you said, certainly you want to actually succeed in some of your votes. But honestly, part of the thing of having a vote was, even if it fails, was you want to know who voted against it.
Sure.
And, we did kind of learn that, but I do believe that people were not sure how McCain was going to vote. And so he kind of, he was kind of the last straw that kept it from succeeding.
No,
there is that.
no doubt. And I want to give Leader McConnell great credit in this respect. I'm glad we had a vote. Thank you so much for having a vote, because exactly that. Now we see where McConnell, McCain, Murkowski, and some of these other folks really are. And there may have been a couple other, questionable votes there that were able to vote yes, that may have possibly voted no. Allegedly, there's some reporting out there. I don't know if that, we won't, we don't know, because all we can do is go off of the vote that was had. But, the point is this. As a, instead of putting it on Trump and saying excessive expectations, he should be putting it on Murkowski, McCain, and Collins, in my opinion. He should be putting it on the Democrats and the rest of the Senate. We have not a single Democrat voted for that. People know there's problems with Obamacare. They're asking for bailouts and stuff like that. It's like, in other words, what I'm saying is they should be saying, McConnell should be saying, look, we're going to work on these other agendas, but they should, in my opinion. One of the things you should look at, and maybe this isn't practical, I don't know. Okay, we will move the rest of the Trump agenda, but we will not move any other agenda items, anything the Democrats want, whatever, until we handle this. This is important. The American people want this. They voted for us. I don't want it. In other words, put the pressure on the no votes, put the pressure on the Democrats. Do not put the pressure on Trump. Okay, that's what I'm saying right there. Maybe he said, okay, you guys want the debt ceiling limit? Then we're going to have to fix this healthcare. Because all we heard of right after the vote is, oh, we couldn't do it. It's time to move on. No, it's not time to move on. It's time to fix this. It's not time to move on. It's time to fix it. So I think that Trump's tweet was exactly right. And I think a lot of people feel that way, Paul. I think going forward, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting. But in my prediction, if it's going to be Trump versus, I don't want to say Trump versus the Senate. That's not quite right. But I mean, and again, let's be very clear here. It only failed by one vote. So you're telling me, Mitch McConnell, the master of the Senate there, you cannot find one vote? You can't figure out a way to get one vote? And then that's my point. Is it excessive expectations to ask you in the upcoming months after vacation to find one vote, Paul?
Yep. Look, it's a great point. Unless those people have signaled they're just not going to move. Again, I'm not really sure about Murkowski. I think that, again, because the numbers have moved somewhat, whether you believe that or not, if that's a realistic change in a short period of time, they might think that that's not where people want to be at. But as you said, you'd have to go to those three individuals and ask them, look, can you switch on this? Can you change on this? Now, if they tell you no, okay. But as you said, you're only one vote short. So if you can move one of them, then you can do it.
Well, yeah, and someone was saying, I think it was, someone's asking over there, maybe it was on one of these shows, like, oh, are you going to vote for a clean debt limit increase? Why would we do that? And this person's like, well, no, why would you? I mean, it's like, why would we do that? In other words, why are we gonna all of a sudden, we can't do anything? We have the Senate, the House, and we have the presidency. We can't do anything, but let's just keep raising the debt ceiling limit. Let's do all these things the Democrats want. Absolutely not. You had Democrats cheering and stuff like, yay, that McCain voted no. If I were McConnell, I would say, forget about talking about excessive expectations with Trump. Debt ceiling limit, all these types of things, whatever. You got to put heat on the Democrats. The Democrats. I'll give the Democrats great credit. They're willing to stick up for what they believe in. They're willing to get it done any which way. And I will give McConnell great credit. Did a great job with Judge Gorsuch. That was a big deal. No doubt about it. I understand that. But we need action on this. This is such a big thing. I can't, again, this is what it's all about. Fixing health care, and if that bill wasn't great, then get another bill. Figure it out. I'm not saying, I didn't read the whole bill. I'm not saying this is the perfect bill, whatever, the skinny repeal. Figure it out, okay? You've had time to figure this out. You got to get it done. And I think that's where Trump's frustration is. And voters and donors' frustration. You've had so long to talk about this. You've all called people, you're supposed to be the experts. Why didn't you have these plans ready? Why didn't you have it figured out? If you had nothing figured out, why don't you have the attitude and the spirit to figure it out now? Let's get together. Let's get a conference. You know what? McConnell said, okay, we're going to take a short recess. We're going to get with President Trump. We're going to get with healthcare leaders. We're going to get with Democrats. We're going to get the, pizzas out, whatever it needs to be. Let's all get together and let's figure this out. They should be having like in Silicon Valley, they'd have these coding parties, or they'd have the all-nighters that we do to get deals done or whatever it is. Why don't they do that in Washington D.C.? Let's get together. Let's get, if you know what, let's get together and fix this. There's got to be some things that Democrats and Republicans agree on that you can get, or at least get all the Republicans to agree on. It cannot be that hard. Whether it's competing on state lines, whether it's the medical device tax. There's a whole bunch of things. I don't want to get too deep into this, but I think that's what it is. It's an attitude. Trump is a can-do president. He wants a can-do attitude, Paul.
He does want a can-do attitude. There are things, again, the Democrats are very unified. They've been hard and fast about resisting and not voting on anything and not helping Republicans at all. And the Republicans, although they control all the branches of the...
Start it up again. Hang in there, people. There's a little bit of stuff here. Oh, it's saying stream complete. Okay, here we go. So we're back. Sorry about that. We had a little technical thing. Again, first time we're streaming 4K. I appreciate you guys being patient and stuff. So we're trying to kind of figure out what the right is. I'm going to kind of tweak down. I'm trying to get this as high quality as possible, but I don't know if it's just the high end of what I'm doing here. Let me just try to tweak that a little bit, or just it is what it is. I mean, it's intense. So we're playing with different things. Listen, we're going to wrap up here. I think that in this situation, Leader McConnell was wrong. I think Trump was right. I think a lot of people now are out there questioning Leader McConnell's leadership. I mean, people want to see results. We understand. I mean, this was a hard-fought election. Now we have this special counsel out there. We have who knows? I mean, this is the time to get things done. Republican voters, donors, other people have been waiting to see results. We want to see results, and we want to see a can-do attitude. And I think that's extremely important for all the Republicans, particularly Republican leadership, to show right here at this point. And that's really what I think it's all about. That doesn't mean you have to agree with everything that Trump does or anything like that, but that means that we need to see people that want to solve problems and get things done and try to advance, Republican and conservative principles, because that's what this all should be about. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at on that. So I like what Trump says on that. I think we're going to have to see what McConnell does from here. But I think this business as usual, country club, kind of attitude is not going to work, in my opinion, Paul. Any last words from you?
I agree with everything you said. The American people voted. They got it. They represented their feelings well in November. And the Republicans have let them down so far, at least legislatively. And it's not President Trump's fault. I mean, the Republicans have to take the hit, and if they're just not able to stand up for what they said they were going to do, then that's on them.
All right, let us know what you guys think about that. Give us comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and we're going to do more of these things. And so I appreciate you guys being patient with the technical things. We got to work out exactly how to get this 4K streaming the best possible, or how we're going to adjust on that. But yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what we have going forward. Anyway, for Paul, that's Paul at Villarreal. I am John D. Villarreal. You're watching Conservative Media. We will see you next time. Thanks so much.